Hello and welcome to the Common Corner. To begin with, we'll do our usual routine of lighting the candle, and I believe that now we have even a better reason to do so as it is already dark, which is kind of a first in my videos. I usually never film a full video in the evening time. Oh. Fifth or sixth time is the charm. All right. As you can tell, first of all, I have tragically run out of the normal sized matches, and I went to my nearby store to find matches, and they had a huge selection of them, but everything in that selection only included these massive matches. And as you can see, it's quite a waste of a match because I'm using like, I don't know, 1/10 of it or something. And I miss my little matches. I shall order some of them from like online or something, although I'm sure that somewhere in London I'll be able to find normal size matches without having to order them online. But still, my Moomin will stay here next to us on the table. Let's tune in before I get ahead of myself. It is currently about 10:50 p.m, so almost 11. This is quite unusual, as you can imagine. Usually I do my lovely Sunday sit-downs in the mornings of a Sunday, but today it is a Saturday night. I've had this thoughts since last week, where I made a video with my partner discussing his journals and his ways of creating his artwork with the help of a Hobonichi Cousin as well as a Hobonichi notebook. That video took like almost 1.5 hours to film, and we didn't really cut it at all, just because we thought that the entire conversation was kind of worth archiving, even though the video is kind of quite long. And while we were filming, we went from there being a sunset and lots of light into kind of almost complete cozy mood lighting, where it's completely dark outside. And I thought that that was actually quite a lovely mood and very fitting for this new season of ours. I know that not everywhere the seasons change the way that they do in the UK and I guess this part of Europe, but nevertheless I hope that you can enjoy this excitement of a change in the seasons with me. Some of you might know that I'm from Finland, and in Finland we have quite a drastic change of seasons from summer to then a very short autumn and then the winter time. Autumn, of course, is very short, and that's why it's lovely to be able to celebrate it, because it's such a short season. So I thought that in celebration of the autumn time, September and October, and I guess here in the UK it's also November, which is very nice. The autumn is a bit longer than in Finland. We would do a series of evening time videos where I can kind of calm down at the end of my day every week. At least, well, this is usually how I wind down in my days if I haven't had anything, if I haven't been kind of socializing during the day, or I mean into the evening. If I'm spending the night at home, this is how I wind down in the Common Corner with my candle and with my journal. So I thought that I would invite you to this time in my night for the next month or so. There might be a few exceptions to that if I simply don't have time in the evening to do a video, but I hope I will, because I think this would be a lovely little experiment, because this lighting that we're having right now is my favorite, and I hope that I can somehow convey that to you as well. I guess this shadow that is moving on my table right now as a result of my light is a slightly, maybe a bit distracting, but I hope that, I mean, I guess I'm not going to be lifting my hand that much. Watch me do that all the time because I talk with my hands. But yeah, that's a thought. That's a thought that I will be kind of testing in this video. But of course, in order to test that this evening setup, we must have at least something to chat about for the duration of this video. Another thing that's different is that I've just written a little agenda in my daily page instead of my usual, I think it's like an A6 sized notepad from Muji. That's where I usually have my agenda, but today there's really only one thing to talk about, so I thought that I would just jot it down here. And that would be to kind of reflect on the last month or so and how did they take place in my daily pages. There was quite a bit of backfilling that I needed to do for my trip to Finland last month, and I finally managed to finish it up a few days ago. And I wanted to show you those pages. You also haven't seen the daily pages from last week, because in previous week's video, from this week, but also from the previous week, because that video was taken up by our conversation with my partner, so I didn't talk through my daily pages, which is something, it's a bit of a routine that I like to do every single week. At the end of the video, I like to chat through the daily pages and show you what I've been up to and any kind of developments. So I thought that we would go through the past month or so today, have a little bit of a reflection, because I feel like September is my ultimate busiest month of the year, and I need to have a thought about it, I need to think about it, I need to talk about it. So that's what the plan is for now. For the next few weeks, I'm gonna be in Hong Kong actually. So for the next 2 Sundays, which are my usual upload days, I will be in Hong Kong. So I am most likely gonna be making a couple of videos in the next few days or so that I will then be uploading on those Sundays. So you'll kind of see a very past version of me for the next 2 Sundays. So not tomorrow, but you know, the Sundays upcoming. So the last Sunday of September and then the first Sunday of October, there's going to be a very past version of me chatting to you, because I will physically be in Hong Kong. But we'll keep you updated. Last thing before we get started is that we have my lovely friend Miffy here. She is the little nightlight that I talked to you about a few weeks ago. I have been looking for one for a really long time, and I thought that I would find it from Hong Kong, because I've seen a few people pick up like Miffy stickers from there. But alas, I found it in London, in Covent Garden, which is kind of near, well, it's in the central of London, and there's this magazine shop there that's sold like so many different Miffy products, and I found this little nightlight. So I thought that for the duration of, you know, September, October, when I'm filming these videos at night and you'll get to join me kind of in this cozy mood, we would have Miffy here keeping us company, because it is a nightlight and now it's nighttime. So hence Miffy. Hello. Okay. All right, so let's start. I'm gonna flip back a whole month or so. 22 of August. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna go back a bit more than a month. Just quickly, you have seen these pages already in my August videos, but you might not have seen them fully backfilled. So I decided that because when I was in Finland, I was very busy making memories and I had less time to archive those memories into my book. As a result of that, because I only usually journal on the specified day, if I didn't have time to fill up that day, I would go back in and backfill it. That term can be used in many ways, but for me, backfilling means archiving those memories and thoughts from that specific day into that specific page. And I try not to take more than a few weeks to do that. I decided that for the Finland travel logs, I would use my red ink to backfill. So whenever you see red ink, that means that this bit has been backfilled. And I think it's quite a lovely way to see what was archived on the day of and what was archived later on, kind of in hindsight. Yes, so I wanted to show you the kind of backfilling that I've done within these pages. So this entire bit. And I just love how it adds red to my pages. As some of you might know, I'm a really big fan of combining black and red in quite a few aspects of my life, my journal pages being one of them. kind of having the excuse to backfill with red ink really gave me the chance to use that red ink and add it into my books. There was a few days, so this being one of them and this being another, where I didn't journal the entire day. I was busy doing something else for the entire day from morning until evening, and hence I made one of my backfilled page logs where I did draw an entire square around it. And there's a video that I've made previously showing you how I developed the system and what goes into each aspect of the page when I do this backfilled square log logbook, if you will. And I've added quite a few ephemera there as well from the day, but here, because the entire page is backfilled, I didn't really want to do the whole thing in red. I thought that I know very easily that it's backfilled because it's in a box. So yes, but when I have already written on the day, the red bits are the ones that have been added in a bit later, and I've always included the date on which I backfilled that page as well. I quite like how this came out. It's like alternating red and black. Yeah. And then finally here as well, this was the last day that I was in Finland. And now we are getting to about a month ago. Now it's the 22nd Saturday. No, it's not. 21st Saturday. So this 21st of August was exactly a month ago. That's when we came back to London, and because I had been only filling up about a half a page or so when I was in Finland, on the actual day, I noticed that I was actually getting a bit withdrawn from this book, which felt very strange because for more than a year I had been very attached to my pages, and I felt like they're always somewhere that I can fall back on. And yes, Miffy has a 15-minute timer, so that actually is very good because it tells me that I've been chatting for 15 minutes now. Let's check if that's actually accurate. Yes, I had been quite attached to my pages for a while, and all of a sudden I noticed I'm not really as attached, and they weren't the same kind of space for me to fall back on when I needed to talk about something. So here I had written this reflection of I want to get attached to my pages again, but very quickly I did, because when I'm back in London I have a lot more time to sit down, I have a lot more time to myself. That means I have a lot more time to write and spend time within these pages. And you can see very quickly that all I did was just write and work within these books. And already on the next day I wrote this sentence: I love this spread. So it all really just started to come together really, really well. I have shown you these, I think, already. Basically that first week after coming back from Finland, I was just trying to settle back in to my house. It was still a new house because I've just recently moved in the beginning of August, so we were getting new furniture, building furniture, trying to move the last of the boxes out and so on. And then I started 4th year. This has also been backfilled, as you can see. Yes, I started 4th year of medical school, and at first it was quite nerve-wracking, but I'm very, very happy to say that I have just settled in so nicely. It's just been really wonderful, and I feel so glad, and I feel like I'm on the right path, which I haven't always felt like when I've been in medical school. The first week of medical school we had some guests over from Czech Republic. That was nice because it kind of distracted me from the stress that I usually have during the beginning of the academic year. And I've talked through these, I think, in quite a bit of detail in the video before the last one. But then the thing that I mentioned is that yes, I mentioned that I will be starting my first rotation in the Children's Hospital in London, a very big hospital in London as well. And I showed you these drawings that I had done, and this one specifically that's dedicated to all the children that I'll be meeting and have the privilege of helping out. And now it's been 2 weeks of my pediatric rotation in the hospital, and I have just absolutely fallen in love with this area of medicine. I didn't expect I would, so it's very interesting. It's kind of shaking everything a bit because I didn't really expect that I would enjoy it that much, and now I'm really like reconsidering my entire kind of career plans. Not that I had that many, I'm just really going with the flow. But medicine within the pediatric world, so within the medicine of children, is really kind of making its way into my heart right now. So I just wanted to update you on that. That first week was a whirlwind of many things. Here is a little kind of, what is it called? Like a business card that parents can take from the, what is it called? From the ward, so that they can like ask for any help with their child's condition and so on. Yes, these are pages that you haven't seen. Okay. I went to visit a friend of mine's place, a new place, and it was honestly the most beautiful place that I've been to in London on this specific Tuesday. And it was such a breath of fresh air because I had just started my pediatric rotation and I was honestly quite tired as a result of it. Oh, here I've written across the page, which is really interesting. I don't really usually do that. I guess I had started out just in one column, but then extended here. That's interesting. And I also started reading that book by Murakami, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle, which I also mentioned a few weeks ago. Anyway, it was quite a stressful start to the week. There was a lot of new things to learn, but I went to visit a new friend's place, and she's actually my first ever friend from Finland in London. So while I've lived in London for like 3 years or so, 3.5 years, I have not had any Finnish friends until now. So now I have someone that I can speak Finnish with in London. So I went to visit her really beautiful new apartment. And it was so gorgeous that I did something that I don't usually do. I attached like 3 photographs of it here, and then I attached some more photographs in my weekly pages. And yeah, maybe at this point I'll show you how the past few weeks have actually been. Because I don't know if we've tapped into that in here. Yeah. This was the week we came back from Finland. You've seen that, I think, a few weeks ago. Then it was the start of medical school. You can see that everything started to kind of just exist within these central blocks again. Whereas before, kind of things are a lot more spread out because I don't have I don't have a specific routine when it comes to, you know, academia. I'm just doing whatever I want and then adding in work in between those time slots. But now that I've started medical school again, you can see everything just kind of regulates itself into the middle of the day or like from kind of late morning until early evening. And the same thing kind of here, a little bit more spread out though. And yeah, here's a photo that I've also added from visiting my friend. It was just such a lovely time, and I didn't realize how good it would feel to speak Finnish again. After like a month of not speaking it. Almost a month, to be honest. Yeah, almost a month. This is this past week. It's been a lovely time, quite social as you can see. And it will keep being quite social because I'm leaving to go to Hong Kong on Wednesday. So you can see that here. And then once we get to Hong Kong, there's going to be weddings, there's going to be birthdays and so on. So it's going to keep being quite social. But I think the flight to Hong Kong is like 10-11 hours. So I'm going to have a good time resting there. And there's a lot of fun things coming up. So I'm sure that even if it's been quite social, busy, this is how September always is. And actually my reflection, my take on this is that I've actually been reading my old journals a lot during this time, this busy time. Septembers have always been busy for me. You know, start of academic year, there's like 4 people's birthdays that are very, very close to me. And on top of that, it's just everything's usually new. I've usually just moved, especially after I moved for the first time out of my, you know, parents' house. I've been moving every year with the acceptance of last year. But even last year I was thinking about the fact of, do I have to move? But luckily I didn't. But this year I moved again. So what I'm trying to say is that September has been full of change for the past 4 years or so. And because of that, that hasn't always been the easiest time for me. And I definitely noticed that when I was reading my Hobonichi Cousin avec from last year. And oh boy, what a difference there is now when it comes to my emotions, my kind of the regulation of my life. It just feels like a bliss within these pages now. Oh goodness, yeah. These are still kind of the back, not the backfilled, but just the pages of that first week in pediatrics. Quite a bit of ephemera from one of the days. This was a lovely day though, and a fully backfilled one from that Friday. So the first week at the hospital was tough. I enjoyed it, but it was very tough because you have to wake up very, very early every day to get into the hospital. And on this Friday, I had once again a full kind of morning to evening time schedule. And when I got home, I watched Gilmore Girls, and I mentioned that I'm now on the train of watching Gilmore Girls in the autumn time. It's a lovely time, by the way. Like I was skeptical at first because I watched the first episode and I thought that the acting wasn't that good and that it was kind of like, I don't know what was my critique about it actually, because now I've completely fallen in love with all the characters and the mood and the coziness and the routine of the show. So anyway, when I came home on this Friday, it was the end of the week, and I started watching Gilmore Girls on the sofa with my with my dinner, which was a sandwich, and I felt just a bit off, and I think it was just the tiredness and everything new catching up to me, and I went to bed at 8, and I slept until 8 the next day, or 9 the next day, so a good 12-13 hours. I don't usually do that. My kind of very nice goal of sleep is like 7.5 to 8.5 hours, but I'm not too strict about it, but that's kind of, I try to keep it there because I know that it's very crucial to my mental health to try to keep it consistent. But I slept for a long time, and oh, I felt so good the next day. I really felt good, but I tuned in quite late, and I had still quite a bit of things to do and things to plan, because then I was actually going to Bath Spa. So there's a city in the UK called Bath, or Bath Spa actually is the full name of the city. It's a place where there were the Roman baths in the olden days. I now have forgotten the time period because I'm really bad at history. But yes, it's a city that I've now been to maybe 3 times before, 2 times before. 2 times before only, yes, 2 times, but I've loved it every time. A friend of mine also used to live there, so she knows it quite well, and then we've been there with Ka once before, but we both got sick during that time. It was like 1.5 years ago, so I thought that I would take Ka there for his birthday, so we spent a very lovely time there, and we went to the spa in Bath because of course the city has its name for a reason. They have like natural spring waters coming from the area, so we were bathing in the mineral waters of Bath and had a really lovely dinner as well, and it was all kind of a surprise for Ka. I really love surprises a lot. I love being surprised and I love giving surprises, so it was a really good time. But yes, Ka's birthday is one of the many birthdays that happen during September. Ka is my partner, for anyone who's new. Yeah. So Saturday was kind of tying loose ends, and then Sunday we headed to Bath. I had picked up these hakama pants, which are kind of like a Japanese styled trouser from Muji. I'm a big fan of Muji, which I think has already become very well known. I mention it in almost every video. Yes, so the story behind these trousers, I wish I had a photo of them. I'm gonna find a photo for the next video. The story behind these trousers is that my sisters came to visit 3 years ago in London. The sisters that I'm talking about are the ones that I started this channel for, the twins. they came to visit and we went shopping with them, and V, one of the twins who was featured on the video a month ago or so, she purchased these beautiful beige, really kind of wide-legged hakama trousers from Muji. And ever since then I have been questioning why I also didn't buy them. Maybe it was because I was a very, very poor student at the time, and I didn't have money for them. But she had purchased them, and whenever I go back to Finland, I always borrow those trousers from her. Now, I was shopping for Carl's birthday present, which now I can reveal it. It was a bottle of Kaweco ink, as well as a Kaweco converter, so he can keep filling up his fountain pens with black ink instead of using the cartridges. And then, of course, the present was also a trip to Bath and a good dinner and the spa trip. Anyway, I also visited Muji to get a couple of things that I've been needing to restock. And I saw these trousers and I could not believe my eyes that they had restocked them after 3 years. I have not seen them in the stores for 3 years, and now they bring them back. Very strange. They're like circulating the design, but I was glad. I saw them. I tried them on for maybe 2 seconds just to make sure they fit, and I went to the till and got them. And I have been wearing them ever since. So for a good week now, I've basically been wearing these trousers almost every day. They are the best thing ever to exist. I will have to find a photo for you so you'll understand what I mean. Yeah, okay. So I put them here. I put the tag here because I wanted to specify that I will be wearing these trousers for the trip. The next day is a bit of, right away we can see that it's backfilled. So I really like this use of red ink because I can right away see that it's been backfilled. Honestly, this little Miffy guy is very good in reminding me how long I've been chatting. So I want to start rounding off the video soon because now it's been 30 minutes. Not that I'm usually aware of the time because, you know, my videos are very long, but because it's getting late and I'd actually like to go to sleep soon. But this is a nice time. I am enjoying this evening setup. So far, it's like, it's being approved. Yes, Monday was quite heavily backfilled because we had a busy day celebrating, and we also had a little kind of spontaneous party for Ka in the evening as well. So I have a couple of photos for that. And then also I have a few things that I purchased when I was in Bath from the Typo store. So I've seen this store around the UK quite a bit. It's a stationery store, but I've never gone in before. But I went in this time around because a medical school friend of mine, I don't know what that term is, but a friend of mine from med school recommended their, what are they called? Flow Writer ballpoint pens. And they're like 150, and I tried them at one of our lectures, and it was like butter. It was literally writing like with butter. So smooth. Literally the smoothest pen I've ever tried. And I couldn't believe it was only £1.50. I actually have one of them here. I obviously bought one in red and in black. This is the red one. Flow Writer. I will be talking about these at a later time. But I bought 2 of them, a black and a red one. As well as a little holder for pens that goes around the book. We'll be talking of that later, soon. Next week, basically, is when you'll be able to see it. So I put those tags here, and I love how that turned out. Then just another day of work, basically, afterwards, and kind of recovering, quote unquote, from the weekend. What I mean when I say recovering is that it was such a lovely time, and then it was quite a big shift to then having to use my brain very efficiently again in university. So, you know, I was just journaling about that mostly. And yeah, I had written this note to myself in the morning about how my phone has I turn to it to distract my tired thoughts. So I just wanted to capture that and kind of have some awareness to myself that I have a trouble staying away from my phone when I'm tired. I love this spread so much. This is the vibes that I'm trying to go for in terms of you know, these videos in the evening. Cozy, a bit kind of low light, warm. Yeah, this is a sticker from one of that really huge sticker book that I got from Tate Modern the other day. And this is a postcard from this coffee place that I went with a friend of mine who actually, she has a YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is called Tiny Girl Meets World. It's very cute. I recommend checking her things out. She does like cute little vlogs and stuff. And I might feature in one of them maybe. So we went to this coffee place called Monmouth, and they had the best decaf coffee ever. We went in the evening, so I got decaf, and it was just the best place, so I put that here. And I'm usually a bit wary of putting big photos in my pages because then I won't have enough time to write, enough space to write. But I think it worked out just brilliantly here. I felt like I just love this collage. It's not a very complicated collage because, as you might notice, I'm quite minimal when it comes to my spreads, but I really, really like it. Sitting down and doing these things is what grounds me during this busy September time, and it just allows me to just have time to think. And honestly, because of that, I'm so certain that that's why I'm doing so much better than last year at this time. As I mentioned, I've been reading a lot of my old journals, and just the difference in my headspace is quite vast. Is that the word? Yeah, like the difference is quite big. And we are getting up to today, the 21st, Saturday. It's been the loveliest day. It's actually me and Carl's anniversary today. So like I've said, September is full of celebrations, and that's why there isn't a lot of empty days, really. It's our anniversary today, and we've been with each other for quite a while now, it feels like, and we had just, honestly, it was actually the perfect day. It was actually the perfect day. I'll have to like break it down another time, but like it just included all of my favorite things, which is having good lunch at home, dressing up in a nice outfit, because I've mentioned maybe before that I really love self-expression through fashion. So when I just am able to express myself fully into the outside world, I feel very satisfied, and I was able to do that today. I was wearing like a red silk top with like a bow at the front, that I kind of didn't tie into a bow, but rather just tied into a knot, and then the two strings were like flowing down. My black hakama trousers that I mentioned from Muji, red socks with then black kind of ballerina slips. So it was just a nice time. It was just a very good time. Then we went to get milk tea from this really good new place in London called Haiti. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. And then we walked around Central. We went to a couple of stationery shops, and we spontaneously found me a coffee store that we got something that I've been looking for in the UK for ages, but I haven't been able to find from like regular shops, which is a coffee filter cone where you put that filter and then you're able to do like drip coffee at home. So I found one of those. That was a good time, and the coffee store itself was really beautiful. I didn't have enough space here, so I put it down here because there was a bit of space left. And then we spontaneously found a brilliant restaurant and had the most loveliest dinner. The place even gave us free cheesecake with raspberries, and it was like one of those burnt cheesecakes that it has like a crispy surface. It was just so good. It was really good. And then we came home. Ka has been actually filming a little video of his artwork today, and then now it's my turn to film a video, and so we get a bit of alone time as well with our journals, and it's just been the perfect day. And I was able to do this page when I was sitting down when Ka was filming his video, so yeah, just the perfect day. And so I mentioned we went to a stationery shop. We went to Choose and Keeping, and I got their beautiful, brilliant Christmas catalogue. It's not very Christmassy here, which I love because I like Christmas, but when things are overly Christmassy, I feel a bit like, ooh, whoa, that's a lot. But this is their Christmas catalog, which means that they have like gifts and they have like ornaments, but they have like all kinds of ornaments, like mushrooms, like flowers, little things and beautiful photos, sea creatures, and they even like moons. Oh, love a good moon. And then even like little Halloween spooky things, and a really beautiful photo at the back. I grabbed two, one for a very special occasion tomorrow, and I couldn't resist and cut down this picture at the very end because that was my favorite, and I really wanted to keep this intact. But then I wanted this photo, so I cut it out from the other magazine that I kept for a special occasion tomorrow. I'll probably be talking about it sometime soon. Yes, so I picked this up and I'm so excited because I can basically, I don't have any Halloween stickers. I have none. Oh, well, I have like one pumpkin one, which I'll be using in my October cover page. You know, like one of those empty pages that you get. So this one. So I have a note here from like 3 months ago. Use the big pumpkin sticker. So I feel like now I don't need to purchase any Halloween stickers because I can just cut out whatever I want from here. Like little ghosts and stuff. They are all a bit weird, but I like them because of that. And little black cats and stuff, yeah. So I wanted to show this and say that if anyone lives in London, I highly recommend picking up this beautiful catalogue from Choosing Keeping. It's their Christmas catalogue, so I can imagine that they will be having it and they wouldn't be running out anytime soon. So yes, I wanted to show that. A big enjoyment. It's free as well. So a student will always appreciate a beautiful free catalogue. All right. And I actually continued today's writing on this page, which I liked because I used to do that quite a bit. And I just enjoy the freedom that I am taking when I continue my writing into the next day. Because it's okay to do that. All right. Yeah. Then my last thing was just Hong Kong plans for the Comment Corner. I think I kind of already mentioned that for the next few days in the evenings, I hope to be filming little bits and bobs for the Comment Corner community so that I can keep chatting with you on Sundays, even though I will be in Hong Kong and far, far, far away from my Comment Corner. One of them will definitely be chatting a bit more about my traveler's notebook and how I'm using it to archive my ephemera and my stationery, stickers, scraps and so on, and how I'm using this system in a way that works for me personally. I'd love to share it. I have some thoughts, so that will be at least one of the videos that is upcoming. But yes, I will keep you updated, and I will be saying hello remotely from Hong Kong for the next few weeks. I will be there from September the 25th all the way until the 7th of October. So a very good time. I'm extremely excited. I have been haunted by Hong Kong ever since I first went there because I've been dying to go back. So it will be a good time. Until next week, I shall leave you with a goodbye and have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this evening with me. Even if you're watching this in the morning, I hope you enjoyed this evening. Goodbye, good night. See you next time.